My name's Jamie Partridge, and that's a few words. Oh, I'm a retired letter carrier, but I'm also an organizer with Communities and Postal Workers United. Communities and Postal Workers United is a grassroots network of coalitions in about 20 cities across the country in the fight to save the People's Postal Service. Because Congress is killing the Postal Service and the Postmaster General is dismantling it piece by piece, Congress has imposed a phony financial crisis on the Postal Service by forcing it to pre-fund retiree health benefits 75 years in advance, so that 10% of the postal budget goes to pre-fund retiree health benefits for people who aren't even born yet. And the Postmaster General is using that crisis, that phony crisis, which no other agency has that onerous burden. The Postmaster General is dismantling the Postal Service. He closed half the mail processing plants in the last year. In the last 6 years, he's eliminated close to 200,000 good-paying family wage union jobs. How can we save the Postal Service? Well, with a combination of postal workers, which is about 400,000, a little over 400,000 postal workers, and the communities that they serve, particularly those that are most impacted by mail, which are rural communities, the low-income communities, small businesses, community newspapers, people who depend on the mail for their businesses or for their survival. In combination, we can build a movement strong enough to get Congress off the dime, to fix the problem that they created, and to resist these cuts and closures that the Postmaster General is imposing on the Postal Service. The rally tomorrow is a rally against privatization. There's the agenda of the 1% in this country is to take over the Postal Service because it's a profitable business. It's a $65 billion business. There's hundreds of thousands of vehicles and thousands of postal facilities that are in every community. And the Postmaster General is contracting out postal trucking, postal mail handling, postal mail processing, and post offices are being sold and contracted out to the private sector. They haven't managed to contract out letter carrying yet because we were able to resist that in years past through massive demonstrations, and that's what we're doing tomorrow. Down at the main post office, we're calling for an end to the subcontracting of mail processing, mail handling, and trucking that's happening right here in Portland. Well, it's about trucking. Brenda Jackson, who's the manager in charge of transportation, has hooked up with a company that apparently she's friendly with, associates with the CEO of Deal Star Route Trucking, which is a bankrupt company which got a no-bid contract that's been padded and is getting $59 an hour to truck the people's mail. The Postal Service eliminated 7 postal trucking jobs and then added about 20 mail trucking routes using this private contractor, so that there's these trucks that are running half empty or almost empty, moving the people's mail. This private company, which owes the Postal Service $300,000 from a previous contract. This is a bankrupt company that owes the Postal Service money, and the Postal Service is contracting, and not even contracting with a company that has its own equipment. The company the Postal Service is loaning the company trailers, renting 9 tractors at $30,000 a month. So it's a completely padded and corrupt contract, and we're trying to acquaint the public through the media, through this demonstration, and put pressure on the postal manager to reverse this contracting out of the people's mail. Well, we can win this fight by building a movement that's strong enough, that's broad enough and deep enough. You know, we need a civil rights movement. We need a march on Washington. We need boycotts, and we need civil disobedience. We need marches in the streets. We need a strike. And what we're doing here in Portland is trying to build that movement. We've already occupied a post office trying to save it. A number of folks, about 10 folks, got arrested doing that. We occupied the Salem mail processing plant trying to prevent it from being closed down. We were unsuccessful. We recently occupied a corporate plant where mail handling and mail processing are about to be done by private non-union, non-postal workers. And we blockaded a truck, one of these Deal Star route trucks a couple of weeks ago, and we're trying to send a message that we're going to disrupt and interrupt the dismantling and contracting out of the People's Postal Service.
All right, well, thanks for your time, Kate.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Postal Service! Ow!
Our union, NELC Branch A2, voted unanimously at our July membership meeting to endorse this rally against postal privatization.
Yes, we did.
We applaud the courage and vision of Portland Postal Communities and Postal Workers United activists. We applaud the fact that many have gone to jail for civil disobedience in this grassroots campaign to save our 238-year-old public treasure known as the United States Postal Service. I've been engaged in the fight against privatization of our Postal Service for almost 4 decades. I became a letter carrier in 1973. I have witnessed the degradation of service. I have witnessed all of the problems that our customers have been encountering to try to undermine the public support. In 2007, the NELC Branch A2 organized a rally and community support to expose the problems with mail security and financial accountability when the Postal Service contracted out city delivery routes in the Beaverton area. Yet this Postmaster General, who should be protecting and expanding service, continues dismantling and privatizing. It's not in the best interest of our nation, and it's not in the best interest of our fellow citizens. All Americans must learn more about the phony financial crisis, the devastating management decisions, and the greed-inspired postal privatization schemes. Go to NALC.org and other websites trying to save the Postal Service. Our fellow Americans must join together and boldly demand ending further postal privatization. There is positive legislation, H.R. 630, sponsored by Representative Peter DeFazio, to correct the financial issues, prevent further degradation of service, and rebuild the essential universal mail delivery system the current Postmaster General, Patrick Donahoe, is rapidly dismantling. I'd like to conclude with saying all Americans benefit. Whether they use the internet a lot or not, all Americans benefit from our Postal Service. It's the most efficient universal postal system in the world. Once it is completely gone, and we've watched it being whittled down. Once it's completely gone, which is the obvious plan of the Postmaster General, Congressman Darrell Issa and his like in Congress, our fellow citizens will bemoan the loss of one of the greatest postal systems ever built.
Hear, hear.
Our national treasure, the People's Postal Service, created by Benjamin Franklin, enshrined in our Constitution, and maintained by countless generations of dedicated postal workers and their unions, must be preserved for liberty and the secure, reasonably priced, free flow of communication and commerce. Informed and united, we can reverse the privatization of our universal public postal service and celebrate many more birthdays on July 26th. Long live the United States Postal Service, and like the stamps say, forever. Thank you.